Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K YouTube Live, and today I'm going to show you how I made a card with the pretty new Stippled Roses stamp set bundle, which is one from the upcoming January to April 2024 mini catalog from Stampin' Up. It is going to be available to purchase beginning on January 4th for customers. It's actually available right now for all demonstrators to pre-order. So if you are a demonstrator, you can actually get your hands on this pretty bundle today in your pre-orders. So yay for that. And if you're not a demonstrator but are interested in being able to pre-order this beautiful bundle, drop me a note. Let me know, Amy at stampwithamyk.com. I would be happy to chat with you a little bit more about joining and tell you a little about our team. We'd love to have you come join us. We're mostly just stampers for fun. And yeah, like to get our hands on products early and be able to order ahead of everybody else. So that's one of the big perks of being a demonstrator. Well, that and the discount that we get. So, all right. So, hey, Debbie and Bonnie and Judy and Jackie, thanks everybody for hopping in. So this is the card we're making today, and it's actually really super simple. It's just a little bit of designer paper, a little bit of die cutting, and tiny bit of coloring, and that's it. And the coloring is not even anything hard. It's basically, the stamp did most of the coloring for me. I just fill it in a little bit. So I see Karen's here, and Cynthia, and Ann, and V. So thanks everybody for hopping in. So this is the stamp set. Again, it's called Stippled Rose, and there are beautiful rose images in it. There's a really pretty Happy Mother's Day sentiment, congratulations. There's a sending thanks, and then I use one that's the best birthday wishes because I like the way it fit on the card, and I always need birthday cards. So, so it's a really pretty stamp set, and then there are gorgeous dies that coordinate with it that are called the Stippled Rose dies. The larger open ones that you see on here cut out the rose images and the greenery image, and then there's some little accessory pieces, so little flowers, sides of the flowers, and then some greenery pieces as well. So it is a beautiful stamp set bundle. Again, it will be available to order beginning on January 4th, or if you're interested in joining, you can get your hands on it right now. You can actually add it as part of your starter kit. So lots of good reasons to join if you're not currently a demonstrator. All right, so let me set that aside, and I will set the stamp set out of the way. A couple other things that I used on here. Hey, Danette and Stephanie, putting in a big order today. Yeah, I kind of did too. So yeah, and I may have accidentally hit the overnight button on it too. We'll see if it ships out on time. Hopefully it will. So hey, Barbara, thanks for joining. The sentiment I actually cut out with this die, and this is from the Labels Aglow dies from the current annual catalog. So you'll see this one in the big annual catalog. It actually coordinates with a Christmas set, but the dies work great for cutting out lots of different sentiments and images as well. So set that one aside. And then the other die that I used is the Darling Details. I actually wrote it down. I'm like, where did I write it? Okay, I found it. Darling Details dies. And this is another one that is from the annual catalog. And it actually coordinates with another stamp set. Again, I didn't use anything other than just this pretty little scalloped edge. And I tucked it right underneath here on my card. So that is all that I used from this die set. But again, this is the Darling Details dies. So you controlled yourself. I did not, Karen. As you know, this is just kind of how I roll when it comes to ordering. It is sad. So, hey, Judith, thanks for joining today. If you have not heard, Stampin' Up! Updated the clearance rack today with some really great deals up to, I think, 60% off some stuff that is listed out there. Earlier this morning, I haven't looked at it in a little while, but there were markers, blends, cardstock, designer series paper, some stamp sets, so dies, all sorts of good things out there. So go take a look at it. If you haven't seen it yet, just don't bother watching the video right now. You can always watch the replay. Go get your order placed. So let me know if you have any questions on that. Again, there's a link to the clearance rack on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. And then Stampin' Up! Also posted, hey Carol, thanks for joining, a new Painted Wishes card kit. And it looks really pretty, and it's one of their non-stamping kits. So there's no stamp set with it. It's pre-printed sentiments. There's one that's a birthday, one that's like a thank you, and one that's just kind of a general friendship one, I think, from what I recall. Of course, I can't read them on here because my printout didn't come out that nicely. But it's beautiful cards, 9 of them, 3 each of 3 designs, and you get coordinating envelopes. They're A2 size cards, so they're a nice size card. And the kit is only $14. So it looks like a good one. And of course, I actually ordered one of those, fell into my order today as well. So I'll have my hands on that tomorrow. So yay. So again, details for this one are posted on my blog today, which is also stampwithamyk.com. Last chance product sale is going on right now as well. So make sure that anything out of the current mini catalog, which is the September to December 2023 mini, that you are getting those items ordered, the ones that are on the retiring list. And there's a long list of retiring items. There's a handful that are carrying over. Lots and lots of retired items. So make sure you're getting those when you're putting your orders today from the clearance rack. Scoop up the last chance products as well. And then don't forget to go take a peek at the online exclusives in the Stampin' Up! Store. They're under a specific section called Online Exclusives. You can only find them in the online store. Lots of pretty things out there. The Meandering Meadows suite is out there, and the beautiful paper that goes with it, and then the little fluffiest friends, and there's the little truck punch, and all, I don't know, all sorts of good things. So I think that's it for the update. So let's get going on the card. And card base is Pebbled Path, and I have it cut to 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4 in the middle. So it's just one of the standard issue, regular, book fold cards. It's actually a top fold card because that's the way my card worked, but just the standard issue card base on that one. Ooh, and I almost started to put the glue in the wrong spot. Let me put the cap back on and tell you a little bit about this. This is actually, both of these papers are from the Softly Stippled Designer Series paper, and this is one of the celebration items that you can get for free with an order of $50 or greater starting on January 4th. Again, demonstrators are actually able to pre-earn these products right now, but everyone else will be able to pre-order, well, not pre, will be able to order them and get this for free as one of your celebration items if you like the paper, starting on January 4th. So I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue, and I'll try not to get too crazy on here. This piece of Designer Series paper is cut to about 1 1/4 by 5.5. And I actually intentionally made it a little bit larger than it needed to be just because I knew I was going to be layering another piece over the top of it, and I didn't want there to be a gap in between the two pieces of Designer Series paper. I usually tend to err on the side of making it a little bit wider than it needs to be, then I don't have to worry about that. So, all right, so we are adhering that to the card base. And then I've got, again, this is again from that same pack of Softly Stippled Designer Series paper. This one is cut to about 3.5 by about 5.5. And then I went ahead and pre-cut a little piece. This was about 1 inch wide to start with and about 5.5 long. I pre-cut it with the Darling Details dies, which, where did I put that die set? Here it is. So it's just this little scalloped edge die that I've got here. I pre-cut the piece of lemon lolly cardstock with that. And again, this was about 1 inch by about 5.5 when I started it. So if we order the pre-order with do or do not get a free item, you will get a free item, Robin. So go out, read through all the details out on the demonstrator website, and you'll see, and actually just start your order, and you'll see that you get to pick free goodies. As demonstrators, we get all those extra benefits ahead of time. So, all right, I'm going to take a little Stampin' Seal and stick these two pieces together. So again, this is my pre-cut die cut over here, and I'm just going to try to line it up before I smush it down for good, make sure we're lined up on all the edges. And all I wanted peeking out was just the little kind of scalloped dots edge on here. So the rest of it I just stuck to the back. And then I'm going to grab a little bit more of the liquid glue, which again is not my favorite adhesive in the world, but when I'm putting these larger pieces on, I definitely tend to use a little bit of liquid glue just so that I have a little bit more wiggle room and a little, it's not stuck down immediately when I go to put the card together. So, all right, going to stick this on the front of my Pebbled Path. I almost call it gray granite, and I'm like, that is not even close to gray granite. Pebbled Path card base, and I'm just trying to get it lined up here along the edges and lined up at the score line. And then we're just going to stick that down. So there we go. All right, set that aside while I do a little bit of stamping and coloring. So it is hard to choose, definitely, Quinn. Yeah, like I said, I didn't choose very, I was not very picky, I'll just say that. I chose a lot of things. So it's definitely difficult. I do understand for sure. So, all right, Pebbled Path ink is what I'm using here. And I'm going to ink up the large rose image from the Stippled Roses stamp set. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on basic white cardstock. And I don't even know how big this piece is. It's probably, I don't know, probably 5 by 5 or so inches on here. So, hey, Daryl, thanks for hopping in. I'm glad that you're here. All right, so there we go. And then I'm also going to stamp while I'm at it. I'm still in Pebbled Path. This is the Best Birthday Wishes sentiment from that same stamp set. Just going to ink it up and stamp it down here a little bit lower on the basic white cardstock so that I have room to get both the dies on there when I need to. So, well, if you put it on credit card, you can apply next month's budget. That is true. That's true. So, all right. So let me grab. Hey, Roxanne, thanks for joining. It's a beautiful rose set for sure. I mean, it's really pretty. I like it a lot. And I know people say we have lots and lots of flowers, but I think you can't ever have too many. So that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. All right. So I have got light lemon lolly is what I'm going to start with, and dark lemon lolly, and this is soft seafoam. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of coloring. And like I said, this is really super simple coloring on here. The shading is really all done for us, which I do love. And also, if I didn't say it before, most of the colors that we have for regular Stampin' Up! Inks, actually I think all of them will work. Some of them work better. I tend to like the darker, the grays, darker blues and that sort of thing. You can actually use Stampin' Blends markers with our regular inks because the regular inks are water-based and the Stampin' Blends are alcohol-based, and so they actually don't mix together, where if I was using a water-based marker, they would. So that's the one nice thing about the Stampin' Blends markers is we can use them with our regular inks, so you don't always have to stamp in, the black ink or whatever your tuxedo version of the ink is. So again, just add in light lemon lolly all the way around here on my flower. And I'm using the brush end just because I'm kind of almost laying it on the side because it's a large area to get covered. Usually I tend to use the bullet end on these when I color a lot, but since it's not very detailed coloring, I'm just kind of laying it on the side and filling it in. So pretty simple coloring on this one. And I think I got most of it covered. Oh, forgot the 2 little roses up here. Probably better do those as well. And pretty easy so far. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to come back in with the dark lemon lolly. So, hey, Virginia, thanks for hopping in, and Roxanne as well. If I didn't say hello, I don't know if I saw you hop in earlier or not. I was busy coloring and not paying attention. So just going to come back in the areas where it's a little bit darker at on the image. Come back in here with a little bit of the dark lemon lolly. And again, you know me in coloring, I don't spend a lot of time on it. So I just color until it looks good, add a little bit of dark here and there, come back over it with the light, and we call it good. So I don't spend a lot of time overthinking the coloring, definitely. I just want it to look pretty and to be done quickly because, that's kind of how I roll. So I don't spend a whole ton of time doing a lot of the blending. I know you can, and some people are really good at coloring with blends, and they can do magical things. I just like to get the color on the paper and make it look pretty. So there we go. Again, just coming back in and blending a little bit, a tiny little bit, actually, not even really blending very much. Just trying to make it so that there aren't any dark kind of spots on the flowers, and that's all there is to it. So that's it for the flower coloring. And then I've got my soft seafoam Stampin' Blends, and we're just going to come in here and fill in the leaves. And I've got light that I'm starting with, and it is really light, so that I will tell you, you probably can't see a lot of difference. I can see the difference here, but on screen it may not show up as well. But yeah, I can see definitely it's adding some color to the flowers, or to the leaves here. And while I'm coloring, I also have an online host club that is open, that's got some openings, be starting in January, so January 1st, so just in time for the new celebration catalog. So if you're interested in that, host clubs, basically I get 6 people together, and it goes for 6 months. You get to be the host of the club 1 month, so you get all the host benefits for that month. And you get my online tutorials that normally you have to make a purchase or be on my team to get. And you get free catalogs while you're in that. You get a free stamp set at the end of it, valued up to $25. So yeah, if you have any interest in that, let me know. I'd be happy to have you come join in my club. Again, starting just in time for Celebration and the new catalog, so you can get lots of extra goodies with that. So, all right, I went back and added a little bit of dark soft sea foam, and then I'm just going to come in here and add a little bit of light in a few areas. Again, just to kind of blend things together. And we're going to call it good. So, all right. How's that for the world's fastest coloring of roses ever? So there you go. So that's it. Like I said, it's pretty easy to do. The stamp does really almost all the coloring for you. You just have to layer a little bit over the top, and it's all good. All right, so I'm going to grab these Stippled Roses dies, and this is the large die that will cut out my rose if I put it on here the right way around. And then I'm also going to grab my Labels Aglow die, which this one is the one that I used to cut out this sentiment. And I'm going to go run these through my die cutting machine. So I'm going to be right off the screen for just a second. And Stephanie's asking, the scalloped die came from the Darling Details dies, and it's just this little scalloped edge. And then I just took the designer paper and kind of ran it right along here. So this part isn't showing, it's just a little tiny scalloped edge on there. So, and that is in the current Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. So, all right, I'll be right back. All right, see if I can get them through on one swing. Probably not. Getting out my Post-it note tape. There you go. When all else fails, just stick it. Stick it with a little Post-it note tape, and you'll be good. So I do use the Post-it note tape, which comes just like this. It's a really handy little thing to have as a stamper. Definitely get yourself some of this. I use it all the time. I use it for masking. I use it for sticking my dies together or to the papers, so I don't lose track of them like I almost did that one. And it helps really to keep things straight and in place when you're doing your die cutting. So definitely take a look at it, and it peels off really easily. Sometimes I've used other tapes in the past, and they haven't worked as well. They don't peel off as nicely, and sometimes they'll rip the cardstock, which always makes me sad. So I tend to use the Post-it note tape because I found that works best for me. All right, so we've got our little die cut roses here, and we're going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're just going to stick these to the back of, whoop, that one I peeled the backing off accidentally. Come on. There we go. So, hey, Deb, thanks for hopping in, and Connie as well. Glad you're joining today. All right, let's see if I can find a few more half Stampin' Dimensionals here. Had a team meeting over the weekend, and, you know, I have a thing. I always go in rows straight across, and I know Karen will understand this, rows straight across with my Stampin' Dimensionals. And sometimes when team members come in, they like grab them all willy-nilly, and, you know, it just messes with my organization. So I don't know. I have a hard time. So then as I continue to use them, I always make sure that I peel them off in a row. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's the obsessive side of me. I can't help it. So got a couple little Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm putting these on the bottom of the sentiment here. And you will note that I'm kind of sliding them down towards the bottom just because I want to fit it around my flowers, and I'm going to try not to stick the sentiment to the flowers. I'm going to try to stick it to the card front instead. So I wanted it to be a little bit lower down so that hopefully it'll stick on the card front and not stick on the flowers. So, all right, trying to get it on here straight. There we go. And then the last thing for the card front, you do the same thing. Okay, so I'm glad it's not just me that you know, things have to be neat and in a row, and I don't know. So these are the 2023 to 2025 in color dots, and I'm going to use a couple of the Pebbled Path dots, and we're just going to stick these here around the flowers on the card front. I thought they just added kind of a nice subtle little something shiny, but not too much in your face. And that's really it for the card front. So it's super easy, just a couple pieces of the designer paper, a little bit of coloring, stamping, and it's all done. So I know. I knew Karen would understand. I know we've had these discussions before where, we just have things and that's our thing. So, all right, got Pebbled Path ink here, and I'm just going to stamp that smaller rose. Again, this is from the Stippled Roses stamp set, and I'm just going to stamp it here on the lower right corner of the piece of basic white cardstock. And close that up, and then I'm going to grab my Stampin' Blends again, and we're just going to do the same really simple coloring that I did on the card front. And there we go. Got my light lemon lolly that I'm going to color the whole rose in with, the whole flower I should say. And then we're going to come back in here with a little bit of the dark lemon lolly and put in a little bit of kind of the low lights or the dark area in the areas that are already shaded, so making it really easy. This is a good one if you're not really comfortable using the blends and it's something you want to play around with a little bit. This would be a great starter stamp set because a lot of the shading is done for you and all you have to do is really kind of follow the lines and you'll be all set. So got a little soft sea foam here that I'm using to color in the leaves. And again, I start with the light when I do my coloring and then come back in with the dark and then blend them together a little bit if I feel like it needs it. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Probably going to come back in here just a little bit with the light lemon lolly and just do a little bit of mixing together here and make sure that I've got all the spots covered because I saw a few uncolored areas in here. I wanted to make sure those were all covered. And I think we'll call that good. So that is it. Simple coloring is really all that I do. Like I said, I know some people are really good and they sit and can spend a while and color this and highlight that and low light that. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have that much skill with them, but they're fun to use and they do make it really easy. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this on the inside of the card. A little bit of Stampin' Seal. That was basic white cardstock, if I didn't say that I was stamping on, and it was cut to 4 by 5 1/4, so it should fit on the inside of the card. And that's it. So there you go. A super simple card made with some upcoming products. Again, the Stippled Roses stamp set bundle will be available starting on January 4th to order. And then the designer paper that I used on it is the Softly Stippled, which it coordinates with the stamp set. It's not the exact same as a stamp set, but coordinates with it. Obviously, it's got the pretty roses on it and some beautiful other patterns and things. And yeah, that's going to be available for free as a celebration item to pick with an order of $50 or greater starting on January 4th as well. And again, if you're interested in getting your hands on these products early and ordering as a demonstrator, let me know. I'd be happy to chat with you about how you can join. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, the details for this will all be posted on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. I will have a printable PDF tutorial out there that will tell you all the cardstock cuts and the every product that I used and all that good stuff. So let me know if you have questions about anything. I'd be happy to answer. And thanks again for coming and checking out the video. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. I'll plan to be back live here around 2 o'clock Eastern time on Friday. And then again next week, Tuesday, around 2 o'clock Eastern time. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will chat with you all later.